If you're struggling to get past a certain point with your agency or even fluctuating around the same numbers for months with it, I'm going to be outlining a 3-step process that you can implement today to fix that problem. My name is Joe. I've scaled my agency to 40 grand a month this year. And once I implemented these 3 things inside my agency, I was able to surpass the number I was stuck at for months and scale even further. So first of all, your identity and character traits are unbelievably important. And why are you talking, Joe, about identity or character traits? Because you can have all the information in the world. If you got a copy and paste brain of Warren Buffett or Alex Hormozi or Alex Becker, you'd still act the way you are right now. Even with that information, you'll still be working 2 hours a day and playing video games. And that's because you don't have those character traits built up yet. And you don't have that persistence built in you. You don't have the patience of a $100 million a month entrepreneur, let's say. So you have to realize that there's a discrepancy between who you are right now and the person to achieve the goal that you're setting out to achieve. And my favorite process of actually changing or building your character traits in this situation is not with affirmations. It's not with reading a gratitude journal every morning. I found that to be absolutely ridiculous. It did not work for me. If it works for you, fantastic, but it just personally didn't work for me. And the way I changed my character traits was changing the stories you tell yourself about yourself and the person that you're actually becoming. And you have to clearly define the virtues that you need to have as a successful entrepreneur. First, identify them and start proving yourself right and slowly transition into that person. Because if you don't clearly define that person, you will never become them. Because the first step of achieving anything in your life is going to be defining that end outcome, that goal that you're going to get to. So let's break that down again. You need an aim. You need an aim that you're setting out to achieve. In your agency, you might be setting out to achieve that 100 grand month. What does that 100 grand person look like every single month that he's making or she's making? And then break that down into virtues. Break it down into character traits. And then you start changing the stories you tell about yourself. And you're going, I went to the gym this morning. I'm disciplined, right? If you've read Atomic Habits, the whole premise of the book really is changing the labels you put on yourself. I am a gym goer. I don't go to the gym. Notice the difference there. It's an identity statement and not an action statement. 2 completely different things. I'm a business person. I'm going to act like a business person. I make good decisions, right? I'm a good decision maker. Again, you can create a positive spiral where you're changing the labels you label yourself with all the time. You're changing the character traits you have. Or you could do a negative spiral where, oh, I'm so lazy. I'm not getting work done. I'm so impatient. And then confirmation bias kicks in and you start reinforcing that character trait. If you don't know what confirmation bias is, if you're watching this video and I go, look for red right now, you're going to go red, 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 red. It's easy to do. That's the same thing what happens when you actually label something and you wrap it in this box of a label, and then you try to confirm that you're this box that you trapped yourself in. And you get actually perpetually set in this trap of the character traits. So again, change the character traits. Start building the character traits you need to achieve that goal. Because it's not like you take these actions right now and you know the plan, you get handed the plan, you take the actions, you'll get there, because you probably won't. You're not that person to do it yet. And even if you get that goal, you're just going to spend all the money that you get from the goal because you don't have the character traits of organizing the money. You don't have the character traits of being patient. You don't have the character traits of resisting that instant gratification and buying a Rolex and instead reinvesting in the business. So you're going to break it down anyway. You don't have the virtues yet. So define the character traits, start mapping that out. Secondly is the most basic and self-explanatory of this video, but it's still equally as important, and it's skills. So skills can be acquired in 2 ways. You can either pay with time or you can pay with money. And at least from my opinion, the biggest problem we have now with scaling businesses or an agency is that there's many ways to do it. And your favorite influencer is going to have a different method than me. Your other favorite influencer is going to have a different method than both of us, most likely. And there's going to be 10 scripts that all work. And the problem is that we have too much information now, not too little. 20 years ago, before the internet, you probably had no idea and you had to read a book in your local library. Now you have 10 videos like this video all giving different opinions, and they're all above you. And naturally, authority bias, you want to start listening to the people above you, but then you have so much information now that you're just stuck in a perpetual analysis paralysis of everything you're doing. So you have to first realize that you need to structure the information in your own way. And you can either do that by doing all the research yourself and going through resources and free YouTube videos. But again, it's going to be a lot of time deciphering what's actually going to work for your niche. The advice is going to be all scattered. Or you get someone in the exact position and you pay with money instead of the time. Because when you're paying with money, there's going to be a step-by-step course on how to do this. There's going to be step-by-step mentorship. And again, both have their advantages and disadvantages because there's a lot of people that are going to scam you out of money. There's a lot of, obviously, fake influencers out there. So this is hard stuff to do. But skills, again, to summarize this, trial and error, figure it out yourself. Don't pay anyone money, but you're probably going to take a longer period of time to accomplish that goal than someone, if as an example, someone just paid a mentor who's actually done this stuff and you pay them hourly, or you get a course with the structured information, right? So 2 ways of doing it. It's up to you how you want to do it. But again, I think this is the easiest thing out of the 3 traits that I'm outlining in this video, the 3 solutions to growing your business. This is probably the easiest because, again, this stuff can all be found for free. I have dozens of YouTube videos on my channel outlining every single thing you ever need to do in your agency with your outreach, your sales process, your service delivery. And again, it's all there for you. But the person who gets a copy-paste brain, as the example I was going before, knows everything about business, is still not going to take the action because their character traits are off, right? And this segues quite well into my 3rd point about having the proper beliefs. And I'll give a quick example for this. I was talking to another agency owner a few weeks back, and they were telling me they're afraid of asking the hard questions on the sales call. So the emotional selling questions where you're asking about their life and how deep is the business in your life, and these kind of tough questions to ask, right? And they're saying, yeah, I'm afraid to ask those questions, so I haven't been asking them. Like, I just really don't think I should be asking those questions. It makes me feel uncomfortable. And I was sitting there like, okay, first, that's a belief statement. Like, they believe that it is uncomfortable. They have reasons in their head why it's uncomfortable. So I'm like, why do you think that's a problem? Why do you believe that? And they're like, oh yeah, it's just I don't want to get a negative reaction on the sales call. I don't want to be rejected. I want to be friendly with them. I don't want to write reviews about my company online after I ask them wrong questions. And what I said to them, so I'm like, never happened for me. Not once. And I said to him, there's going to be that 5% chance where that person's going to give you some pushback. And the pushback's going to look like, yeah, well, why do you ask that question? Like, I'm just confused. That's like the pushback. That's all I've ever had with emotional selling questions. So after telling him that, I told him, like, nobody's ever written bad reviews about a sales call that I've had. He went like, oh, that's not too bad then. And immediately, when he switched that belief in his head, he started making more money and he signed 3 clients. So he was limited by a belief there, not his skill set and not his character. It was a belief statement issue. So you have to realize that beliefs determine how you act. And if you have the information, you have the skills, but have the wrong beliefs, you're still not going to scale your business because you're still going to act in a way that is not going to make you money and not going to get outsized returns for you in your business or scale your business, right? You might be asking, how do I identify my beliefs? How do I change my beliefs? And same thing I was talking about before with the character traits. You're going to do a very similar thing with beliefs. And you're going to listen to $100 million entrepreneurs, $1 billion entrepreneur, and listen to them talk for hours at a time. Or even pick up a book from someone great. Like, I was reading a Elon Musk biography back there a few weeks back, and the guy, like, changed, like, 5 beliefs I had in my head about leadership, managing. And you have to realize they believe different things in you for a reason. They're where they are for a very big reason, and their beliefs influence that heavily. They would not be taking billion-dollar risks because they didn't believe there's going to be a return. And you need to first analyze your current beliefs that you hold. And any trouble that you're having with your business. I'm having a trouble with sales. Why am I having a trouble with sales? Is it because my conviction's bad? Why is my conviction bad? Is it because I believe that my product isn't good enough? These are all just very common things. And you need to analyze your own beliefs and then contrast that with what a person above you would believe. Or the person you want to be when you achieve that goal, what would they believe? Because they are going to believe different things in you. So Analyze your own beliefs, change the beliefs into the person that you want to be or that person above you, and see the discrepancy. And I cannot tell you how many bad beliefs I had when I was starting out, because again, when you're growing up, you're going to be surrounded by the average person all day, every day, and the average person cannot start or succeed in a business, and that is just the truth of it. So if you want to have a successful business, you need to not be like the average person and not absorb their beliefs and actually agree with their belief statements about business. That is just not true because they've never done it. And a lot of people will make these so-called belief statements all the time when they've never thought it through, and they have these like surface level beliefs that even if you ask them about it, they cannot explain it. And that's because they've just adopted it from hearing it on the news one day or heard it from someone else that called a SMA business a scam. Whatever, right? So be careful about what you believe. Be very reluctant. And what you need to do is question all of your beliefs until you can't question it anymore, and then that belief might be worth adopting to you. And a lot of our beliefs are unconscious, and you have to realize that you need to take a deep dive in your brain, and that's why I like meditating a lot. When I have something to think about or like I'm going through a bad time, it's probably because I believe something that's inaccurate or I shouldn't be believing it, right? So do that with yourself, map out your beliefs, change your beliefs. Recognize that if you want to succeed, you need to change either or all your character traits, your skills, and your beliefs. I've given you an outline in this video to change those things. If you enjoyed and you want to scale your business further, I have a completely free group where you can get a bunch of agency resources completely for free. And as well, subscribe and like if you would like to see more videos like this. And I'll see you later. Goodbye.